So, so yesterday we are discussing some JavaScript concepts, right? So the thing is very simple. When you want to load JavaScript, there are multiple ways. One is inline JavaScript, one is internal JavaScript, one is external JavaScript. And one more thing we done like alert message, how to show the alert message and how to show the prompt message we see, prompt box we see. So alert is basically showing some input, some alert box for the user, and prompt basically taking input from the user. Prompt will take input from the user. And today we'll go with one more method called console.log. So this is the one simple function. Why this function is going to be using for. And one more function is document.write. And what is the benefit of this function also we have to discuss. Okay, so coming to the console.log. So this is the method. This is the JavaScript function. This is the JS function, which is using for print console messages. Okay, so how to write console.log? Console.log, simply you can write a single quotes or you can write a double quotes also. You can write single quotes or you can write a double quotes. And console.log, this function, one more point we can write here. This function is most important function. Most important function for debugging application. Debugging application. Okay, so we can able to track console errors and application flow from console window. So two important points. This function is most important for debugging application. Whenever you want to debug your application, this function is a mandatory function. And one more thing, we can able to track the console errors, and throughout the application flow also we can able to check this with the console function, console method. And this is a browser console. Console actually available. Console available in browser. So how to open console? How to open console? So that is a simple thing. How to open console means right click on browser. Right click on browser and select inspect. Then select console. Select console. That's it. Okay. Right click on browser. Any browser you want. You can go with the browser. Right click on the browser and select the inspect option and go with the console option. Document.write. So document.write is a JS function, and which is using for print down outputs. And this function mostly using for create dynamic HTML. This function mostly using for create a dynamic HTML. And how to write document.write. Document.write, and you can go with the single quotes. Document.write, you can go with the double quotes also. So you can use single quotes and double quotes both. for documentation. And let me go with the application console.log and document.write. Take new and save it as console and document.html. Inside the JS, I'm saving. Okay, let me write console.log. And how to write JavaScript inside the script tag. Console.log. Console.log. And document.write. Two functions I'm writing now. One is a console.log, one is a document.write. Console.log. This is console window. This is console output, something. This is console output. And this is document output. This is document output. One is a console output, one is a document output. Okay, let me run this. Right click on this and open in the browser. Now, some output I can able to see on top of the browser. Some output I can able to see on top of the browser. That is a document.write output. Document.write output. Some output I can able to see through the inspect, through the console window. Through the console window. In inspector, there is an option called console option. You can go with the console option. So this is the console option. So some output I can able to see in the console. Console window is basically back of the browser. Document.write output is top of the browser. Some output is back of the browser, some output is front of the browser. In front of the browser, I can able to see some output. Back of the browser, I can able to see some output. In front of the browser is document.write. Back of the browser is console.log. Okay, so I already told you console.log is not only used for what? Only printing console messages. But for example, if I have some problem with alert box, alert, okay. If I'm having some problem with alert box, okay, I'm just writing a alert message like this. If I'm writing alert message like this, okay, so if you refresh the browser, I cannot able to see any document.write output, but I can able to see some console output here. Some output is already executed. First line code already executed. Where the program got stopped, program already got stopped with something. So I can able to see this one, this particular line, the second line already executed. Second line output also I can able to see. Can I see? Second line output. Second line output already visible. And this line is not working. This line is not working. I already given the alert box, but it is not working. Okay, for example, if I take this and paste here. Now, how many lines of the code will work? How many lines of the code will work? First two lines of the code will work and third will not work. Am I right? Am I right? No. Can you see? One is working. What is the working? Console.log is working. Document.write is working. But somewhere alert is not a function. So it is actually clearly saying that when you click on that particular line and it is actually blinking something, a fifth line is blinking with the error method. That error icon, what is this error icon? Alert is not a. So when you hover on this, you can able to see that. Uncaught reference error, alert is not defined. So you have to know the particular syntax. Where is the error? Where is the problem you're doing it? When you have some syntactical issues, automatically console is tracking the JavaScript code and console is telling to you, okay, so you have the issue here, please solve it and go forward. Please resolve it and go forward. So that is a way of using console outputs. And document.write not only printing the outputs on top of that, document.write is going to be using for creating the HTML also. For example, I want to create the H1 tag. If you want to create the H1 tag, I can able to create the H1 tag using by JavaScript. I'm not writing any HTML here, remember. I'm not writing any HTML here, but I have some H1 now. So this H1 I can able to see on top of the browser. So the alert box I can able to see the hello message box. And this is heading. This is what? Heading. But heading is coming. But heading is coming from where? Heading is coming from script, not from HTML. So when you are getting the data from the servers, you can able to easily bind the data on top of the browser without writing HTML. Without writing HTML through the dynamic HTML. Dynamic HTML means you are writing inside the JavaScript. Your HTML is going to be available inside the Java. For example, I have some variable. That variable I want to print inside the H1. Suppose I want to define a variable called where name is equal to. Okay, so let me define some name called Srinivas. Okay, I want to print something document.write. Document.write. Okay, so document.write. I want to print the name. Name is okay. So first of all, give the single quotes or double quotes. Huh? Document.write should be having single quotes or double quotes. And I want to take H1 tag. H1 tag close. But what my requirement is, I want to define something like my name is. I want to take this variable and keep here. I want to utilize this variable into the H1. How to utilize this variable into the H1? You have to concatenate. How to concatenate? Using with the plus. Try to understand. So concatenation is going to be happening now. Concatenation is going to be happening now. Name variable is something. H1 is opening here, and at the same time H1 is closing here, and both should have single quotes. Without having single quotes, document.write will not work. But I want to concatenate a value. What the value I want to concatenate? I want to concatenate something like a name. Am I clear? So when I execute this, I can able to print the name. Okay, my name is. I got it. Variable value. Whatever the variable value, dynamically we are binding to the H1. In the real time also, product name, product name, product name, product name is, product name is, product name is. Product price is, product price is. But the value is dynamic value. Value can change. Value is coming from server. If server updates the value, automatically the variable also update the value. Those particular values I can able to concatenate like this. So we are not working now static process. We are working with the dynamic process. This is the dynamic process. Value is coming from variable. Value is coming from JavaScript. This is value coming from JavaScript. But we are binding to the HTML. We are binding to the HTML using with the JavaScript. Am I clear? This is a little bit confusing topic, but try to understand. Can I create a list object? Can I create a list item? Can I create a list item? Order list. For example, I want to create an order list. Order list have LIs. Okay, so for this LIs, I want to take a where a PRD1 is equal to PRD1 is equal to I want to take a iPhone, or PRD name is something like iPhone. So this is a variable product name and product price where PRD price is equal to 56,000. My requirement is I want to show this product name and product price into the list. How I can show? So this is the order list. Okay, I opened the list object and I closed the list object, and I opened the list object. I close the list object and I close the order list object. This I know. This is HTML. We know this. This is HTML. We know this. So creating dynamic HTML using by document.write also we know that. But now the task is what? Now the task is we have the JavaScript variables. We have already created the variable values like product name and product price. I want to bind those two values into the list items. So how to bind it? Tell me how to bind it. Where I need to give the quotes close. Here only I need to close the quotes up. Here I need to close the quotes up. List open. Then plus, then plus, then plus, then again plus, and this one is something. LI is closed. And here again open plus, and that should be closed now. And again plus. Can you please try to understand this? Little bit confusing topic. But when you understand the program, then it is very simple. Now, can I bind what is the binding value here? Product name. And what is another binding value here? Product price. See, after completing the arrays and all, I will show multiple values from the array. You're having a list of objects. So I want to have multiple product names. I want to list down all the product names into the list. Through the array, we can able to create a dynamic HTML using by the loops and all. So after finishing with the loops and conditions, we will treat the things in a different way. We will do a lot of assignments on that. That is not a big deal. Yeah. So let me execute this. If I execute this, iPhone at 56,000. This is the process of document.write, how document.write is working. Console.log and document.write.